All right, guys. Tom Davidson, Landon Hutchison here with Yard Work Season 2 here. Since we started this last year as COVID hit, we're back again doing some new episodes from the 2020 season. Today we have the D Las Vegas and our 14U National Champions, Coach Tom Henig. Welcome to, I guess, the show now. I don't know what we're supposed to call it, but welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on and giving us a little bit of your time and maybe talking through your 2020 season with us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I know it was a little different year as COVID came on, but, kind of give us a little run through on how you guys started the year this past year and maybe what changed the biggest from the COVID standpoint.
Well, I can tell you that just, our team, just like every other team out there, it was, we just kind of came out of the gate guns a-blazing. You know what I mean? It was, we relied on all of our players to kind of do their own thing independently. With a little bit of advice from myself and Coach Riker, who we co-coached together. And then, once it opened up, we hit Ohio, just like every other Michigan team did, every weekend for 9 weekends in a row. And it was just all about game time experience. It was shooting from the hip and ready to go.
Yeah, so I know we know your guys' team name for the past couple of years, but can you kind of go in where you guys are based out of, how you're recruiting guys when you're building your teams, and then maybe where you see your guys attending events most often?
Well, most of our guys, so we're based out of Detroit, Michigan, Oakland County, more so than anything. All the kids are, except for maybe two, are outside of that area, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, Grand Rapids area. But for the most part, it's somewhat community based. It's kind of nice. We have, I think we're up to 15 teams now in our organization, and every team is run independently. So they have some people that are outside the areas, and, they manage their own teams independently. Bob and I, we've had this core of kids this will be our 4th year next year with this group. So we started at 12U with this group. Couple little changes here and there, but 70% of the squad is still with us. And they're all within the same kind of area. And most of them right now are attending Brother Rice High School here in Michigan.
Okay. Yeah. And where does the Las Vegas come from?
So the D Las Vegas Casino, the owner, Derek Stevens, is friends with our president, Brian Kalzinski, and Bob Riker. And he sponsors our organization. Very generous.
Oh, nice. Can't beat that. That always helps.
Oh, man. It's awesome.
So,
it's awesome.
I know we had you guys a few times this past summer. I know you shot down to Ohio at our Xavier event right away. You guys were not in what I would call an easy pool when you went down there, because I don't know that there were any real easy pools, but we saw you guys at Notre Dame later in the summer, later in June, where you went undefeated during pool play and maybe lost in the championship to I think it's like the number 6 ranked team in the region by perfect game with the Hawks. And then
we got our butts handed to us that game. It was almost like we never woke up and showed.
It happens.
That's baseball. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh my God. Hey, you know what? We didn't show up and we didn't compete that day. Just like that. And you know what? They're a good team.
Yeah, they're a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
You guys 14U Nationals where you guys made a really good run and ran through some teams with a little history and did really well. Can you kind of give us a rundown of what you guys went into with 14U Nationals?
So do you mean in the Kentucky tournament, the national tournament?
Yep.
I'll tell you what, that was a grind. So originally, Bob and I could not make that tournament, right? So we had some of our dads, Jason Hill and Derek Landis, go there to start the tournament. We ended up, I think we lost to Midland Seminoles the first game. And then I don't know what happened. I freed up my schedule and I said, I got to go. I said, I got to go. And so I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm heading down to Kentucky. She goes, go. And then, I don't know. We just got there and we had a little powwow, listen, it's an 8-game grind, right, to get to the finals.
Yeah.
And it's already been a long season, right? A different year. And the boys just kind of came together and just just put on a display that was just awesome. You know what I mean? And we don't do, listen, and we play everybody, every game, continuous lineup, championship game, never skipped a beat, never changed a thing. You know what I mean? Everybody plays, everybody bats. And we've done that for 3 years. And it just seems to work for us. And it did.
Yeah, I know during bracket play, you went through like the Indiana Bulls, you had the Wolf Pack, the Ohio Nationals, and then the Indiana Nitro. And Landon and I were talking about it yesterday. I was like, man, they didn't really have a walkthrough on there. I think you guys were the 8 seed. You beat the 1 seed at one point, and it was just, it was a pretty impressive run. After that first game, everything kind of fell into place there.
You know what it was? I tell you what, these guys just have a simple approach to the game. They were just hitting gaps. I've never seen so many gaps in my life. I mean, it was double, triple, walk, stolen base, triple. They just kept clearing bases, and it was unbelievable. It was the funnest time I ever had. That Sunday was awesome, except for the ride home.
Yeah, it was a different year for us, obviously, with COVID. I mean, we were using the AAA stadium there at the Louisville Bats. We sent guys to Bowling Green to go play at the Hot Rod Stadium.
Yeah.
It was just different. Can you go through maybe some of the guys on your team that guys like Landon and the college coach guys should be looking at as they come up?
Well, let's see here. Let me pull this up for you. They're all, I think every single one of them on this team has the ability to play next level. You know what I mean? But again, they're young. We were an all 8th grade team. That's all we were, which was pretty special, I thought. Not every team was like that.
You should play with your class and not your age group.
It's different. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. It's different, Do you want specifics, or are you looking for which players you should really? I think
give us a rundown on some of these guys so we know, because we look at these guys and we want to invite them to like the all scout events and things like that.
Oh man, just take my game changer roster, grab them all.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to grab 3 to 5 of them on a roster of 12 that I feel. Like I told you, we bat a continuous lineup, 12 people, right? So top to bottom, and we flip-flop it a little bit. So there's so many interchangeable pieces there, and they just all click. They all have something special about them. And they all, in 8th grade, they all haven't actually hit their growth spurt yet. A couple guys are smaller than some. I mean, we got some 6'3" guys on 8th grade. I brought them out. I coach varsity baseball too up here as well. And I brought them out to my field. And my varsity team, I practiced with these guys prior too. And then my varsity guys were like, those guys are in 8th grade. I'm like, yeah, those are 8th graders right there. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. I mean, I tell you, there's some special guys. I mean, Brennan Hill, I don't know if you've heard of him. Big lefty, plays center field, covers a ton of ground, can swing it, can huck it. With a smile on his face every single day, which is awesome. Makes our job way easier. Nolan Alvord. I mean, that guy had he must have had 9 trips. He might have had 9 trips in that Kentucky National run. That was crazy. Tristan Crane, who's a beast behind the plate. I think he logged a lot of innings on the mound too, but behind the dish, he was just a workhorse. He's going to be a pretty special player. He knows the game really well. He's just got great baseball acumen.
It's hard for us to go in and identify those guys when you're averaging 9 or 10 runs a game, and every other pitch we see guys hitting the ball all over the place.
I know. And then you got Chase Vandermeed, who he pitches, plays a little bit of first base. Big guy, 6'3". His dad pitched at Michigan State. So he's going to be a pretty special player as he develops. And we had a couple smaller guys that just hit a little bit of a mini growth spurt. Ryan Taransky, kind of a unassuming lefty, but just hits with power, just barrels things up. And it's just You would never expect it when you see him in the box, but he does. He just gets it done. There's even more. Andrew Landis, he's on the west side of the state from Rockford, Michigan. He does a great job. Tyler Fox, Wyatt Rupenthal, that guy was a workhorse on the mound. All of them. Owen Turner, everybody. Max Orozco, I don't know. They're all good. They're all good.
Coach, tell us a little bit of how you got to where you are now with D Las Vegas, like what your baseball background and things of that nature.
So I don't have much of a post high school career. I mean, I played elite ball when I was younger. Did all the I grew up when when travel ball was like Pee Wee Reese, Babe Ruth, Connie Mack, stuff like that. And then I played in high school. Varsity player, sophomore, junior, senior year, and stuff like that. And then and graduated in 1987. So I think I was just done. When I was done, I was done. It seemed like back then you just didn't know about the other opportunities that were out there. If some of the big guys weren't at your games watching you, then I guess you were done. So we were done. So when we had kids, my son, he joined the Warrior Baseball, which is D Las Vegas as well. And I coached him from 12U through 18U. And that's kind of how I got into it. I would coach him. And then once he got to the 15U Warrior, I would take on, and he was in high school, then I would take on a younger age group in the Warrior organization. So I would do a younger group and then the high school guys, and I would jockey back and forth. I think I've done every age group from 12 to 18U. And then he went on to play high school, and then he plays college ball right now. And then I just kept at it, even though he was done. I went back, and Bob and I decided to do a 12U team, and here we are today, all these years later.
That age group too is extremely hard to coach, especially with 12U, 13U, and then you get to the 14U, you have the distance jumps and things of that nature. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges that your guys have had, also being that they're in 8th grade, playing could be at shorter distances, but are playing up to that level? How long do you think it took to, really adjust to those distances?
Well, we actually start that stuff at 13U. You know what I mean? So for them, along with their size, right? So, 80% of these guys hit a pretty good growth spurt, and they work out continuously. We put them through a pretty good off-season workout program. Whether that helped or not, I don't know. I assume it does, right? I mean, every kid's a little bit different. I take no credit in that one. That's, a third-party organization that does a great job up here at 2SP. But we do start that stuff, that development at 13U, and sometimes a little bit at 12U. We open up the field, make it bigger, and just, we say, hey, this is what you're going to be playing here in a year or two. And it helped. It helped a lot.
What would you say your coaching philosophy then is for D Las Vegas? If you want to play for D Las Vegas, what do you got to have?
What do you got to have? I'll tell you what, have a little effort, attitude, and hustle, and a little bit of passion. Have some good parents, because it's, you know what I mean? We're with these guys all summer long. You bring those key elements, and, and have a little bit of talent. We'll develop you, and we'll have some fun. There's no magic recipe.
Yeah.
There isn't. We don't go out on big searches, recruiting players or anything. They generally reach out to us. We have a pretty decent organization. We feel like we do it the right way, treat everybody fairly. And if we happen to have a spot for you and you fit our model, I guess, then we'll take you on. But we try to retain as many as we possibly can, keeping in mind that we want to get better and better every year.
Yeah, you can't beat good parents, man. That's
it's
like
we
having
have
a good umpire.
listen,
You just can't do it.
we got a full staff. I'll tell you, we got a general manager, Ray Orozco. He's awesome. Risa Fox, she's our mom team manager. Everybody's kind of involved. It's good. Everybody. There isn't one issue on our team whatsoever.
So as you guys move forward to 2021, what kind of events are you guys looking at? Are you guys going to try to come down and do a little repeat national championship? What are you guys looking at?
So I think we've only gotten a couple. So we're going to, let's see, they just sent something out. Let's see what we got. Well, we're doing the Black Swamp
It's a good
tournament.
event, yeah.
Yep.
We have, let's see, this is, we're going to Vanderbilt.
Yep. That's us.
Is that yeah, that's you guys. Is that the 15U national tournament?
Yeah, that's your 15U national.
They don't specify. I just get team snaps sent to me. You know what I mean? They don't, I don't even get, we don't even get to pick these. This is the managers. They have parents. We were like, hey, you guys want to play, then you guys figure this out. Let us know. We'll show up, we'll train them, and we'll go for it. That's it.
That's the way it should be now. It's easier that way.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit back and scroll through all these tournaments and go, hey, what do you think? That sounds good. That looks good.
You had 2 weeks to go through the internet and find it.
I'm not doing that. I don't got time for that. Done this long enough. Let's just go play. So we got that one. We're going to Lake Point, Georgia, which is going to be a perfect game, I would assume, right?
Well, it could be a PBR.
For a PBR, yep.
Yeah.
But that's all we have. Those are the 3 we have scheduled right now.
Then you got to figure out your in-state events and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we got something in Grand Rapids they're talking about on June 17th. I don't know if that's you guys or I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure we'll see you guys again when we're at the University of Michigan's and Michigan State's, places like that. You know,
Yeah.
I think we're too close to you guys to only see you at nationals, but I think the way most teams now and organizations book things, they locate their travel events to go out of state, and then there's enough of us that you can fill your other dates with local events.
Yeah, I think they said we're going to do 5 or 6 tournaments, I think, at 15U. Because like I said, by the time I get done with my high school varsity team, and then Bob gets done with his, I don't know when we're starting, but maybe
Yeah.
the 17th, I think that's going to be the opening day,
Yeah.
for that.
Well,
And these guys like to travel. This team, they like to travel. They love to travel.
it's usually the parents that push that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all good. You listen, we only live once, right? It's about the boys. You know what I mean? If the parents want to do it and the kids want to do it and everybody's getting along, I mean, I'll travel with you. You
That's
know,
right.
that Kentucky tournament, that thing, I'll tell you what, that thing was awesome. That thing was set up perfectly.
It's tough to beat those, man. It's Nashville's going to be the same way when you go down for the Vanderbilt event. We use Vandy and Lipscomb and typically Belmont and Middle Tennessee State. So there's quite a few college venues down there that are worth the trip. But then you have the opportunity to get the kids at some of the parks and then the hotels and things like that are just amazing in Nashville. The parents have a lot to do, so it's a great spot. I mean, I think
especially if you can make especially when you can make a nice run,
Yeah.
I mean, whether we win or lose, listen, we don't put a whole lot of stock in that stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to watch, right? It's fun to sit back and just watch these guys, set a 12-man roster, not worrying about plugging and playing, right?
Yeah.
We do this to make it easy on ourselves, right?
Right.
I don't need to guess in a game. Go ahead, go play.
Well, you've got 91 already registered for that Vandy National, so it'll be a full boat. Hopefully, we get to play it all. Appreciate you coming on with us, and hopefully, we get to do this again after this next coming summer.
Oh, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it
Alright.
again. I'm gonna wear that big old ring.
There you go. Bring that on next time.
Awesome, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.